What if I told you that everything you've been through, every lonely night, every whispered prayer, every time you questioned your worth, has led to this moment? What if I told you that the universe has been working in silence, preparing someone of great power, great wealth, and great spiritual insight to step into your life, not to take from you, but to lift you? You see, chosen one, you've never been invisible. You've been observed, not just by heaven, but by someone whose presence has the potential to radically shift your reality. And now, because of what you've done in private, you are about to be repositioned in public. There is a shift happening around you, and though you may not see it with your physical eyes yet, your spirit has already felt the tremor. That uneasiness you've been carrying, the strange energy you've sensed, the moments when you felt like you were standing in between two worlds. It's because you are on the cusp of divine relocation. This message is not just a prediction, it is a revelation. The kind of revelation that speaks not just to your mind, but to your soul. The kind that pulls tears from your eyes because it hits a truth you've known but could never explain. A wealthy, influential stranger, a person who doesn't even fully understand why they are being pulled in your direction, is being stirred by something beyond logic. They're about to enter your life not to add pressure, but to release destiny. You may think, why me? But the real question is, why not you? You've endured, you've obeyed, you've evolved. And now the doors that once required you to beg will open without you knocking. If your soul is already responding, if your heart is beginning to race and your spirit says, "This is for me," then stop scrolling. Don't rush through this. Every word that follows is a seed, meant to awaken, uplift, and activate something ancient inside you. Chosen one, if you've ever felt like the world couldn't see you, if you've ever carried the weight of knowing you were meant for more, if you've ever looked around and felt the aching truth that where you are is too small for who you're becoming, this message is your confirmation. Not a coincidence, not hype, a sign. And if you know this speaks to you, declare it in the comments by typing 77 and let the universe see you claim your time. Because your time has come, let's go deeper. You are hidden on purpose. There's something sacred about silence, something transformative about being unseen. In a world addicted to attention, to exposure, to validation, your path has been different. While others built their worth on likes and followers, you were called to grow in secret, to develop in the shadows, to evolve without applause. And it hurt, didn't it? The loneliness, the isolation, the quiet spaces where you cried out to God asking, "Why can't they see me? Why do I feel so misplaced?" But chosen one, let this truth settle into your bones. You were hidden not because you were forgotten, but because you were sacred, protected, set apart. The light in you was too pure to be handled by unready hands. Every season of obscurity you endured was a layer of spiritual armor being placed upon you. Every unanswered prayer was not denial, but divine delay. Because if the spotlight had found you too soon, it would have crushed the version of you that wasn't yet ready to carry the weight of your calling. You weren't being rejected, you were being reserved. Like a rare gem held in a velvet box, pulled out only when the right buyer appears. Like a divine warrior, hidden until the battlefield aligns with your frequency. And now, the concealment is ending, not because you changed, but because the time did. You see, chosen ones carry a frequency, an energy that both attracts and threatens. That's why you were kept out of certain rooms, not because you lacked value, but because your presence would have disrupted the illusion. Your light would have exposed shadows that weren't ready to be confronted. So the divine hid you, not from your destiny, but from premature damage. You weren't meant to be known by everyone. Only those who carry the discernment to see you in spirit were allowed into your space. And now one such individual, a stranger whose power echoes across dimensions, is being magnetically drawn to you. This person doesn't see with just their eyes, they sense energy, character, divine resonance, and something in you has triggered something in them. But that never would have happened if you hadn't been hidden long enough to become this version of yourself. So don't despise the darkness. It taught you how to shine. Don't resent the silence. It taught you how to listen. Don't regret the rejection. It was actually redirection. You were being prepared for something only your soul could carry. And now, because you endured, you're about to be revealed, not as a spectacle, but as a sign. You are not rising randomly. You are rising on purpose. what you did that triggered the shift. It wasn't one grand gesture. It wasn't a headline moment. It was the accumulation of moments you thought didn't matter, moments when you gave when no one said thank you, when you stood up for truth while others chose comfort, when you chose to speak light into dark places, even while you were hurting yourself. What triggered the shift wasn't an event, it was a frequency. The vibration of your integrity, your compassion, your resilience. It pulsed through spiritual dimensions and caught the attention of the right soul at the right time. The wealthy stranger who is now moving toward you didn't find you by accident. They were drawn to the residue of your actions. This world teaches that power responds to noise, but in the spiritual world, power responds to purity, to consistency, to silent obedience. And you, chosen one, have been consistent in silence. You've passed invisible tests, the kind no one else saw, but heaven took record of. You didn't know that day when you forgave someone who broke you, that moment shifted your future. You didn't know that time when you shared your last bit of money with someone in need, that act activated a portal. You didn't know that when you chose to pray instead of panic, to keep going instead of quitting, to love instead of harden, that those decisions were recalibrating your destiny. You triggered the shift by being who you are, not who the world told you to be, and that is rare. In a world of masks, you stayed authentic. In a world of performance, you chose presence. In a world of transactions, you chose transformation. And those decisions summoned a benefactor, someone who holds keys to doors you didn't even know existed. But here's what's wild, they don't even fully know why they feel compelled to act on your behalf. That's how divine alignment works. Spirit speaks to spirit. Purpose speaks to purpose. And now, because of your faithfulness, someone is hearing a call to bless you that they cannot ignore. So don't downplay what you did. Don't overlook what you've endured. You didn't have to perform a miracle, you had to survive your process. And now the shift is here. Invisible hands are moving people, shifting circumstances, arranging timing, and preparing a new environment for you. You're not being rescued, you're being repositioned. Because what you did, those small, quiet, powerful acts of love and truth, proved to the universe that you are ready. Ready for more, ready to lead, ready to be seen. And now, chosen one, the reward is being dispatched. Not as payment, but as alignment, why they chose you. In a world obsessed with superficiality, where value is often mistaken for visibility and worth is measured by noise, you did the opposite. You chose stillness. You chose depth. You chose truth. And that chosen one is why they chose you. The wealthy stranger whose presence is now circling your atmosphere didn't select you by accident. They didn't stumble upon your life randomly. They were pulled toward your essence, an essence shaped by adversity, refined in fire, and carved by invisible hands. This person, though powerful in the material realm, is spiritually awake enough to sense what most overlook. They are surrounded by people who clamor, who chase, who flatter and perform. But you didn't chase. You didn't beg to be seen. You simply became undeniable. What drew them in was not your resume, not your beauty, not your charm, it was your energy. The invisible signal your soul sends out. The resonance of someone who has been through the dark and didn't let it make them bitter. You've been broken, but you chose to heal. You've been tested, but you chose to rise. That kind of spirit can't be manufactured, and it certainly can't be ignored by someone who's attuned to power in its purest form. They chose you because you possess something rare, something money can't buy: authenticity, integrity, emotional intelligence, divine sensitivity. In a world full of loud voices, you carry a silent authority, and while others project confidence, you embody it. There's something else, too, your refusal to compromise. They noticed. Maybe they saw you walk away from what looked like an opportunity because it didn't feel right. Maybe they witnessed you choose kindness over vengeance, or stillness over ego. These were not small moments, they were signals. In a realm beyond this one, those choices blazed like fire in the darkness. And someone took notice. Someone whose resources can shift nations. Someone whose voice can open doors most only dream of. But more importantly, someone who honors energy over appearance. They chose you because they see you, not just who you are, but what you're destined to become. This person may not even fully understand why they are compelled to help. That's the mystery of divine orchestration. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to spirit. They're not rescuing you, they're responding to you. Your essence called out and their soul answered. You've been chosen because you are not a product of this world. You are a reflection of something higher, something eternal, and now that essence is demanding its rightful environment. That's why they chose you. Not because you shouted, but because your silence thundered. You are being relocated for a reason. This is not just a relocation. It's a repositioning of purpose, a spiritual reassignment masked as a physical move. The place you are being taken to isn't just a change in scenery, it's a match for your frequency. The universe is not interested in aesthetics or status. It is interested in alignment. You've outgrown the environment you've been in, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, and the truth is, the atmosphere around you has felt increasingly suffocating. That's not a coincidence. That's your soul letting you know that what once served your growth has now become too small for your mission. Chosen one, the relocation that is approaching is not about escape. It's not about comfort. It's about activation. There are people you haven't met yet whose destinies are tied to your presence. There are doors that will only open when your feet touch new soil. There are divine connections waiting on the other side of this move that will multiply what you've been nurturing in solitude. You are being moved not because you failed where you are, but because you fulfilled the assignment. You were faithful in the dry land. You kept planting, kept speaking light, kept carrying your calling even when it felt invisible. And now, your obedience has birthed a shift in the heavens. You see, chosen ones are rarely sent to places of comfort. They are sent to territories where their energy can disrupt stagnation and awaken the slumbering. And that's what this relocation is about. You are being transferred into a space that is ready for your impact. But here's the secret. The wealthy stranger is just the instrument. They are the bridge, not the source. The source is divine. This is spiritual architecture unfolding in physical form. You may not know the address yet. You may not know the timing, but your soul already feels the tug, the pull towards something higher, deeper, freer. You are being moved because your mission demands it, because the next version of you can't survive in the environment that tolerated the old version. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the closing of a chapter that could no longer hold your capacity. And while others may not understand why things are changing for you so suddenly, you'll know it's because you stayed faithful, because you said yes when it was hard, because you kept the promise you made to your soul long before you remembered who you were. The relocation is not just a reward. It's a reminder you are meant for more, and more is now. This is not luck. It's divine timing. To the untrained eye, it might look like a stroke of fortune, like fate smiled on you unexpectedly. But chosen one, you know better. What's happening in your life isn't luck, it's precision. Divine timing is not random. It is the most powerful force in the universe, and it has been working behind the scenes of your life all along. Every delay, every closed door, every lonely season, every detour, it was part of the calibration. You've been waiting, praying, growing, stretching. And now heaven has said, release it. Now, the blessing is not late, it's right on time. If it had come earlier, you might not have recognized it. You might have mishandled it, settled for it, idolized it. But now you're ready, not perfect, but prepared. Divine timing doesn't respond to need. It responds to alignment. And finally, the version of you that can carry the weight of this blessing has emerged. The relocation, the breakthrough, the connection with this wealthy stranger, it's not happening by accident. It's been in motion for a long time. You're just now becoming aware of it. This is heaven's schedule, not yours. And here's the thing, when divine timing activates, things that took years to build begin to shift in days. Favor finds you without effort. People start helping you without explanation. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. You find yourself in rooms you didn't apply to enter. That's the power of divine synchronization. But it's not random. It's a reward for spiritual obedience, for patience, for walking in faith, when there was no visible proof. So don't call it luck. Call it alignment. Call it prophecy fulfilled. Call it the unfolding of what was always written in the spirit before it manifested in the natural. Everything is connected. The stranger who is now moving toward you is responding to a spiritual appointment they didn't even know they made. They are being pulled by a divine instruction that whispers, "Now is the time." Find them, elevate them. This is what happens when you've done the work and surrendered the timeline. You no longer chase miracles, they chase you. Because when your soul is in rhythm with the divine clock, even the impossible must bow. Prepare for your elevation. Elevation doesn't come to those who desire it. It comes to those who are ready for it. And chosen one, readiness is not about perfection. It's about posture. Now that this breakthrough is in motion, your preparation must be intentional. You are not just being relocated. You are being promoted, which means the weight you carry will increase, not just your visibility. Prepare your mind. You're about to enter spaces that demand a new level of clarity, resilience, and discipline. Old insecurities cannot walk into this next season. You must silence the voice that says you're not enough. You are more than enough. That voice was born in a place you've outgrown. Stay humble, but own your value. This is not the time to shrink. Elevation requires presence, full presence. You must step into this season with both grace and confidence. Do not confuse humility with hiding. Hiding is over. Now is the time to be seen, not for applause, but for assignment. You will be required to speak when you used to stay silent. You will be expected to lead when you once followed, and you will be trusted with opportunities that stretch you. Don't resist the stretch. It's making room for your purpose. Let go of what no longer serves you. Release the habits, relationships, and thoughts that belong to your previous chapter. You can't carry dead weight into new dimensions. You must travel light to fly high. And as you prepare, understand this. Not everyone will celebrate your rise. Some will misunderstand it. Some will resent it. That's okay. Elevation is often lonely because destiny demands focus. Keep your eyes on the vision, on the call, on the God who brought you this far and will not let you fall. Above all, remember this. You are not being elevated for luxury. You are being elevated for impact. Your voice is needed. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your energy activates healing. The world needs what you've been refining in private. And now, the platform that matches your preparation is being constructed in real time. So take a breath. Stand tall. This is not a drill. This is the moment you were made for. Don't just survive it, embody it. The final test before the blessing. Right before the promise comes the pressure. Right before the elevation comes the examination. Chosen one, you are not just stepping into a new season, you are passing through a threshold guarded by divine discernment. There is always a test before the blessing, not because the universe wants to torment you, but because it needs to confirm that your character can carry what your spirit has been asking for. That test won't always look obvious. It may come wrapped in frustration, disappointment, or delay. It might feel like everything is going wrong just when it should be going right. That's how you know you're close. This is the final filter, the spiritual checkpoint. Will you still believe when everything tells you to quit? Will you still walk in love when resentment tempts you? Will you still stand in truth when the easier road is deception? The test isn't to break you, it's to reveal you, and the timing is not coincidental. Right before destiny manifests, the enemy often whispers its loudest lies. You might hear voices in your head telling you that you're not worthy, that you're not ready, that this is too good to be true. But you must recognize the pattern. Darkness always intensifies before the dawn. Don't be distracted. Sometimes the test is emotional. You're tempted to respond in anger, to fall back into old habits, to shrink back into fear. Don't. This is the final illusion. Stay grounded, stay centered, stay focused. You are standing in the last hallway before the open door. One wrong step won't cancel the blessing, but it can delay the entry. You've already been approved in the spirit. This is not a test of worth, it's a test of awareness. Can you see past the chaos and remember what was promised? You've come too far to turn back now. You've survived too much to second-guess yourself. You are not the same person you were when the journey began. And this final test is not here to break you. It's here to confirm that you've become who you needed to be all along. So breathe, reflect, and walk through it with grace. This is your proving ground. And you, chosen one, were made for this. You're being blessed because you didn't chase. In a world that teaches us to chase every dream, to run after recognition, to scream for validation, you did something radical. You chose to embody the truth instead of chasing attention. You chose stillness over spectacle. You trusted your path even when it made no sense. And now, because you didn't chase the blessing is chasing you. You became magnetic, not by manipulation, but by alignment. There is something deeply powerful about a soul that knows its worth and doesn't need to announce it. You didn't need to be seen by everyone, you needed to be seen by the right one. And now they've found you. You refuse to perform. You refuse to sell your soul for temporary validation. You refuse to compromise your essence for access. That refusal marked you. It distinguished you. It sent a signal through the spiritual realm. Here is one who cannot be bought. The wealthy stranger who is now being drawn into your orbit isn't responding to your appearance or platform. They're responding to your vibration. Your soul has weight. Your spirit has substance. And you proved that without ever needing to shout. The most sacred things in life don't chase, they attract. Water doesn't run after fire. Light doesn't scream at darkness. The sun doesn't beg for attention. It simply rises. And you, chosen one, have risen, quietly, consistently, authentically, and now the world is adjusting to your presence. Doors are opening that you didn't even knock on because your life itself became a knock, an invitation for divine encounters. This is what happens when you align with your purpose instead of pursuing popularity. You didn't chase, and yet here comes provision. You didn't force, and yet here comes fulfillment. People chase things when they believe it won't come to them. But you knew, deep in your spirit, that what's meant for you is already yours. That belief created a gravitational pull around you, and now the blessing is not just coming, it's arriving in abundance. Remember this always, the blessing that chases you is the one that can't be taken from you, because it was attracted by who you are, not what you pretended to be. This is spiritual economics. You invested in authenticity. Now the universe is returning it with interest. Let go to step forward. Elevation always requires separation. You cannot move into your next chapter still holding on to the last one. You must let go, not because the past was all bad, but because it no longer fits. Some things, some people, some mindsets, some patterns were only meant to serve the version of you that is no longer breathing. Chosen one. The hardest part of the shift isn't stepping forward, it's releasing what's behind you. But make no mistake, you cannot hold on to the familiar and receive the new at the same time. The spiritual law is clear, expansion requires emptying. You must create space for the new frequency you're stepping into. And yes, it will hurt. Yes, you'll grieve the people who no longer understand you. Yes, it will feel like you're betraying the old version of yourself. But you're not. You're honoring growth. You're honoring divine alignment. The past is not your enemy, it was your teacher. But class is over. And now the universe is waiting to see if you'll cling to comfort or reach for calling. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the doubt. Let go of the need to explain your transformation to people who were never meant to come with you. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need consensus to walk in purpose. What's coming requires your full attention, your full heart, your full availability. You can't hold on to brokenness and expect to birth something whole. You can't entertain low frequencies and expect to rise to higher realms. This is the sacred exchange, release to receive. And understand this, not everyone will celebrate your shift. Some will accuse you of changing. Let them. Growth is not a betrayal, it's a blessing. And those who are meant to be part of your destiny will meet you at the new level. Don't lower yourself to keep company. Rise and let those who carry the right vibration rise with you. The relocation you're stepping into is not just physical. It's spiritual, energetic, mental, and to live in that new space, you must release what weighs you down. Letting go is not loss, it's launch. You are not losing anything that's meant for you. You're creating room for everything that is. This is it, the moment the hidden one becomes revealed. The moment the silent one becomes heard. The moment the one who never chased is suddenly chosen. Chosen one, you didn't stumble here, you were led. You've walked through fire, through silence, through rejection and confusion. And yet here you are, still radiant, still anchored, still open to the call of destiny. And now the blessing has found you. The wealthy stranger is only the visible expression of something much bigger. This is heaven moving through human hands. This is divine strategy disguised as a sudden miracle. But you and I both know it's been in motion all along. Now the only thing left is this. Will you receive it? Will you stop second-guessing your worth? Will you walk through the open door without apologizing for your arrival? Will you carry the blessing with humility, but not hesitation? Because this next season will require all of you. No more shrinking. No more waiting for someone to confirm what God has already shown you. The time is now. You are ready, you are worthy, and you are needed. So I leave you with this question. What are you willing to leave behind to fully receive what's coming? Drop your answer in the comments. Let this be your declaration. Let this be your agreement with the next level. And if this message stirred something in you, if it unlocked clarity, hope, or confirmation, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Someone else out there is still in the shadows, still waiting for their moment, still wondering if they are seen. Let your voice be the light that guides them forward. Remember, the shift isn't coming. It's already here. You are no longer being prepared. You are being positioned. And the blessing is not on the way. It has arrived. Chosen one, step into it.